And welcome to another episode of Michigan Live here at the Voice of College Football. My name's John Diadamo. You can find me on Twix at John Diadamo here. Today is actually Monday, August 26, 2024, and it's the first of 5 shows this week related to Michigan football. That's right, folks, 5 shows this week. As you come in, please go ahead and hit that like button. Just takes a second. Subscribe, share this out with a couple of friends, share the YouTube link out. If people want to debate me, call the show. I'll post the link if there's interest in that. And also, if you want your comment or question to be put to the top of the queue, you can go ahead and send a super chat. We are currently 600 subscribers away from Ohio State Voice of College Football channel. That's right, folks. Just 600 subscribers. As you can see, the big fella is getting even closer to overtaking third base Ryan Day here. It's coming, and the more that you guys share this out, hit that subscribe button, all of that good stuff, we can overtake the Ohio State channel. And with 5 shows, including tomorrow's mega show, which will happen, it's Michigan Wolverines live at 8 p.m. Eastern. We have Trey Taylor for the first 20 or so minutes of the show. We'll be interviewing Trey Taylor. Then we'll chat about some of what we've heard from Sharon Moore in the interviews, some of what we've heard from the last bit of camp here, and kind of the pre-Fresno State practices. And then at 9 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have a Fresno State preview with an expert over there, Caleb Nail from the Beware of Bulldogs podcast. So that's tomorrow. Then we've got our call-in show Thursday night at 8 with Ferris. Then we've got not 1, but 2 shows. Michigan pregame live with TJ and Ferris, and Michigan postgame live call-in show hosted by me alongside TJ Ronin. And we'll be rotating those out there. You might see some different hosts. You might see some different guests throughout the season, depending on availability and all of that good stuff. So we have so much content for you. And it is my promise that after tonight, we're going to almost exclusively talk ball. Yes, we do need to cover the actual documentary because I don't know a lot about what it's going to talk about. So we are going to give our instant reactions. But today is to essentially get out of the way this story so that tomorrow we can focus on ball and recruiting. I hope that sounds good to everybody. So I figured today we would have a fun little rant show because, as we know, Michigan has finally received the NCAA notice of allegations for Connor Stalions. Reports are it's similar to what we've heard about, with really a level 1 violation for Connor Stalions, a level 1 for failure to cooperate with the Michigan program, plus some level 2 unrelated violations. That's right. Even though this is supposed to be about Connor Stalions, as we reported for months, we expected there to be some recruiting violations thrown in there for good measure. So some of the negotiations that you're hearing about with Denard Robinson and things like that, some of those are not related to Connor Stalions at all. And so don't let the trolls on the internet inflate the two. Those are 2 different situations. So just FYI on that. It's not all about Connor Stalions. They're inflating it. And a reminder here that the notice of allegations only means that the initial investigation is concluded, but Michigan still has 90 days to respond, and then the NCAA can respond back. And that takes us straight up into the Ohio State game and then into the postseason. So is the timing suspect? And I'm going to ask everybody in chat, is the timing suspect? Because in about 6 hours, we are getting the Sign Stealer Netflix documentary which will cover Connor Stalions' efforts in sign acquisitions, and the story of Connor Stalions, and I look forward to watching it. But this timing seems really interesting, because you've got the documentary on the one hand, you've got the regular season on the other. Tell me that this isn't some vindictive timing. It is vindictive. It is just another data point of the fact that they don't like Michigan very much. And whatever you have to say about it, the timing's a little suspect. Let's see what the people in the chat say. It's in your face and deliberate. Yeah. I think it's going to make the NCAA look dumb. Yeah, I'm very excited to see the documentary here. Bucks love the Buckeyes love the timing. Absolutely. OSU and MSU think it's going to be really bad, and I've got some thoughts on that here in a second. Because here's what a couple of people have to say about this, and I promise we're gonna get to my responses on my tweet that got a couple of views over the last few days. Got some traction, and we'll go over that in a bit. But what I think is interesting is obviously the just the fact that people are saying, oh, there's going to be a hammer, right? There's going to be some type of massive postseason ban. There's going to be some type of massive hammer. But Josh Pate, on his last show, flat out said that the conference is not going to allow a hammer. The networks aren't going to allow a hammer. This is big, folks. This is big money. So I got some truth bombs here for you. And these are folks, none of these people that are listed on this graphic are Michigan fans. I think that goes without saying. But check it out. The president of the entire organization said that Michigan won the national championship fair and square. Fox Sports' Colin Cowherd. This is ticky-tack. This is a witch hunt. Because when you have Lambos in the parking lots and you have Porsches in the parking lots, this is what they cover? A guy who hires his friends and family to go take shaky iPhone footage? And that's what we're going to investigate? And CBS's Josh Pate, as I said, the conference is just not going to allow a hammer. The networks are not going to allow a hammer. None of these people are Michigan homers. None of them. Okay? And it's literally goes from the top down. So I understand that Ohio State fans are down bad right now. They're down bad right now. Why? Because they're pinning their hopes on the Kansas State backup quarterback. They're pinning their hopes on a center who couldn't snap a football. They're pinning their hopes on a right tackle that kept getting cooked by Michigan in the last game. If you don't believe me, watch some of the film reviews that are out there on YouTube, including some Buckeye film reviews out there on YouTube on Menace that actually go over it, right? And defensive, I will give you Caleb Downs is really good. I will give you that he's maybe one of the better defensive players this year. And guess what Michigan was able to do? Beat him. We beat Alabama. I don't know if y'all remember that. And so they know this, and subconsciously they've decided, let's go ahead and let's go on to Twitter and let's just be really joyous about the fact that that Michigan has been given this notice of allegations. Now, we do have a super chat already. I'm very honored that you have, because this show, I'm going to be real. This show it's not our regularly scheduled programming. You're not like the 2 hours of journalistic integrity that you've come to expect from this show. Tonight's not that. So the fact that we just got $10, I'm so appreciative. The Buckeyes' newfound admiration and respect for NCAA rules is inspiring. Yeah. He who's without sin cast the first stone, right? Ohio State is not a clean program. Michigan State is not a clean program. But now all of a sudden, they're on the NCAA side. By the way, I said years ago that the tattoo thing was BS too. I think that people should get compensated. I thought that the Reggie Bush thing was BS. Like, look at what's happening in the NFL and look at the amount of money in college. I think anything related to any of that is BS. But anyway, thank you for that super chat. Very cool. And if you want your comment or question to be put to the top, either send a super chat or I'll try to highlight member comments like even this Buckeye ZZM/Madamus Prime Entertainment. The dumbest play at the end of a game beat Bama. Well, they trusted their they trusted one of their best players, Milroe. Now, again, it's Tommy Rees, so there's that. But I didn't hate the play so much if it was an RPO and he made the wrong read. I wouldn't hate it so much if there were other options. I don't know. I don't think it was the worst play in the world to run, but against Michigan's line, I think it was pretty rough. Detective Loki has gifted a Voice of College Football membership. Congratulations. Who got it? Slayed the expectation. Congratulations on becoming a Those Who Stay Will Be Champions member for 30 days. You're going to get the emojis. Everybody throw some stallions in the chat. Some stallions, some burgers, emojis in the chat. Let's have some fun with this tonight. But here's my question. We have another super chat. Drufus, Michigan is family. Thanks for the $2, man. Really appreciate it. Okay. So let me ask you this. And maybe this will be covered today. Where is the actual bylaw violation in the NCAA? I had people, and you'll see it in the tweets here, that pointed to the Tony Petitti letter and that outlined that Michigan broke the Big Ten sportsmanship policy. And for those of you who don't know what the Big Ten sportsmanship policy is, it's basically whatever Tony Petitti decides. It literally says in there, it's at the discretion of the commissioner. So basically whatever he says is a violation is a violation. Okay? You don't need evidence. You don't need, there's not a specific bylaw. It's basically if Tony Petitti thinks and the Big Ten thinks you messed up. So by that definition, yeah, Michigan broke it because Tony Petitti said Michigan broke it. It's pretty much that simple. But when it actually came to 11.6.1 and the other NCAA bylaws, if you notice, there wasn't concrete proof of any violation. Where is the tie to full-time staff? Where is the tie? We heard from Connor Stallion's lawyer, and you can, again, all of this, feel free to take with as much or as little of a grain of salt as you want, and I respect that. It is Connor Stallion's lawyer. But they've said the notice of allegation says Connor's friends and family sent him film from games they attended with tickets Connor purchased, but there is no rule against that. And why is that? Because 11.6.1 is written for full-time staff in-person scouting, not buddies, not friends, not family. Are Connor's friends full-time staff? Well, then he's in violation. And yeah, that is a reading based on the letter of the law. Isaiah Hull said today, that's a very letter of the law point of view. And I agree with that. It's very letter of the law, and the NCAA can say, you know what? We think you messed up anyway. And even though there's people with Lambos in the parking lots, there's millions of dollars of bags being floated around, there's Baylor with t-shirts saying we pay players, all that's cool. All that's cool. You can do, there's private jets with Tennessee, and they said, we'll see you in court. You want to push this? We'll see you in court. And you know what happened? The NCAA does not like legal stuff. They tend to lose. They tend to have to settle for almost $3 billion in the one case. So, and that's dubious if that even goes through. So I'm not, that kind of brings us to to the viral tweet. Unless we have any, nope, we're good there. Let's talk about the viral tweet. So my last tweet that got this many likes, that got this many views, was probably my tweet to, I told some of you about this, to Regent Acker, asking about Jim Harbaugh's contract negotiations. I am surprised that that Regent Acker responded, but it did do very well, obviously, because a Michigan Board of Regent responded to me. But here it is. The NCAA timing on the notice of allegations is devious. It was posted 2 days, well, at least the news dropped 2 days before the Stallions documentary drops, which is expected, as per reports, to be positive for Michigan, and as the team is prepping for their first game against Fresno State. Michigan has tried playing nice, and if they respond with anything other than "we'll see you in court," it will be beyond disappointing. Now, I got some people who said Michigan has not played nice. I would ask you, suspending a head coach voluntarily, and I know that's Burgergate, but they suspended Jim Harbaugh voluntarily for 3 games. And what happened? The Committee on Infractions said, we don't care, basically. We don't care. Michigan allowed pretty much open access. Here's the computers, here's everything. Of course, people will point to the deleted text messages. We'll see this in the tweets here. I've got a lot of thoughts, but the bottom line is, if you think Michigan hasn't tried playing nice, look at what Tennessee did. That's the template. So whether Michigan's Attorney General gets involved once this goes to a punishment phase, whether it's Connor Stalions fighting, I think if nothing else, Connor Stalions' lawyers are gonna fight if the NCAA says you got a level 1 and you can't be in college football for 5 years. Connor Stalions' lawyers, if no one else fights this in court, Connor Stalions' lawyers are going to fight this in court, because Connor Stalions might be a high school defensive coordinator now, but he's going to want to do some college coaching, I think, eventually. So they're going to try to fight anything that's like a super extensive penalty that way. We do have man himself, Maze Madman, is here. Does a great job. Love his show. I'm upset. He's great. Go Blue. And hopefully we'll see you around on the shows here coming up in the next couple of months here on the channel. And we'll do some of your shows and all of that good stuff. So, okay. Let's look at some of these. Member comments. Detective Loki, thank you for your membership. No players or coaches admitted anything. Correct. At least related to Stallions. Maybe Denard and I forget the other person who are negotiating. Somebody will know it in chat. But maybe they've talked about some of the recruiting stuff a little bit. But as far as Stallions, no. Let's see. Yeah, Ferris. Apparently, Ohio State and I believe it was Rutgers, Illinois, there were a couple of schools involved in literally sharing Michigan's playbook, or like they acquire the plays, they acquire the signals, and they're sharing it with each other. So friends and family of Connor Stalions count as scouts, and that doesn't count as illegal scouting? That doesn't sit right with me. Very true, Ferris. Okay. If anybody else wants to comment, just throw a super chat. And also, we're gonna try to wrap up by 10 p.m. Eastern, unless somebody from Twitter or somebody wants to debate me. Then I'll throw the link. But I do want to throw it over to the USC guys at 10, 7 Pacific for the Trojan Conquest Live as we do our must-see TV block here. Literally 5 hours back-to-back of different teams. We had Alabama live at 6 Eastern. We had, what was it at 7? Texas. We had Notre Dame at 8. We have this at 9, and then Trojan Conquest Live at 10. That's 5 hours back-to-back of different teams for you as we go towards the season. And like I said, starting tomorrow, we're going hard on talking ball. Not so much. We'll talk about the Stallion stock because it's coming out and we're going to talk about it. But the majority of tomorrow's show is going to be about the game coming up. So I decided I'm going to do this show today to knock this out and to knock out the Stallion stuff aside from the documentary. And so we can focus on ball the rest of the week. Wesley, this isn't a member comment, but it's important. How do you respond to Connor on the sideline of CMU? Please don't say he was working for CMU. Well, what else do you want me to say? He was working for CMU, according to all reports. And nobody's talking, nobody's flipping. It is what it is. Detective Loki, right there. I mean, what else do you want me to say? He was hired by CMU. That's allowed. Red Wine, this will be the last thing I highlight. Red Wine, I heard 2-year postseason ban, scholarship reduction, suspension, but they won't take away all the games in question. If that happens, I expect Michigan to file suit. And specifically the Attorney General of the state of Michigan. I do not think that they will accept a postseason ban. Scholarship reductions, maybe. Suspension, maybe, if it's like a game or two. If it's like multiple years or even a full year, no. So again, I think that there's a threshold to this. Okay, let's have some fun. All right. So after my tweet talking about the timing of this, the fact that Michigan has tried playing nice, well, I got some responses. So what I did was I've sorted by most likes. So the ones that the most people liked, I've sorted some of these. So let's have some fun, shall we? And if anybody wants to, also make fun of some of these or have a reasonable debate about some of these, let me know. Okay, tried playing nice. Y'all lied, blocked the investigation, took out hard drives, deleted texts. I mean, come on, buddy. Okay. And then I responded in this way. We did give access to the NCAA. We did. We made lots, and by we, I mean Michigan. I don't work for the program, but a lot of fans will sometimes say we, and I know I get some flack for that sometimes, but y'all lied, blocked the investigation, took out. Okay. So the deleted text one is the easiest to address because that did happen. That is accurate. Texts were deleted. Sharon Moore, I think, as all of us do from time to time, he freaked out. And 52 text messages were deleted with Sharon Moore and Connor Stallions. But they were recovered, and then the NCAA was given those texts. And Sharon Moore is on record publicly as of the other day in saying, I hope they release them publicly. I don't think he'd be saying, I hope they release them publicly if they were damning texts. But that's just me. I'm not going to cover took out hard drives, block the investigation. No. If you've been following Word Manual, you know that I think they've bent over backwards to show that they're trying to accommodate the NCAA. Notice that none of the court, there was one attempt at maybe doing a temporary restraining order against Tony Petitti in the Big Ten. They decided not to do it because the lawyers for Michigan, I believe that they kind of were worried they were going to lose in court. I don't know how good. I mean, until that was said, all tea leaves were saying that they were going to file the TRO and it would go through. But some lawyers, just the Michigan legal team decided not to fight on that one in the end, against all indications of the contrary. But if the one person, Redwine, said 2-year postseason ban, that is going to be fought somehow, and we'll see what happens there. But I just said, look, it's a no shit moment. Again, tried playing nice, except the lying, stonewalling, and cheating. Cheating, as Isaiah Holt says. So they are going after Michigan for a level 1 violation for being uncooperative, essentially. But here's the thing. One example of Michigan being quote unquote uncooperative was expecting Tom Mars's law firm to turn over 6,000 emails in 24 hours. And there was somebody I was debating earlier who said, well, they asked before 24 hours. Well, according to Tom Mars, he needed the time to train on the program. He needed that time for training. Okay? So once he was satisfactorily trained up on the database to pull the emails out and to vet the emails, then he had 24 hours from that point to deadline. And he asked for an extension until the next month. You know what else is and Sue is actually somebody I've talked to before on Buckeye podcasts. You know what else is devious? Cheating. I hope the NCAA is done playing nice with you. Still haven't heard the bylaw Michigan broke. Still haven't heard the evidence tying Stalions' signal acquisition efforts to the program as a whole or other full-time staff. Folks, Connor Stalions himself was hired by Jim Harbaugh, likely because of his military background. Harbaugh likes the military guys. He was a captain in the Marines. And he is very enthusiastic about Michigan. Harbaugh likes people with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. And when he started, he was an analyst, and he watched film from home during COVID. He watched film on TV and got the signals from TV in 2020. Then in 2021, he started the ticket Venmo, and hiring his buddies to go check out some games and get some shaky iPhone footage. But that still didn't even, I don't think that broke a bylaw. I really don't, according to the letter of the law. Now, the spirit of the law is something else. But still, there's no proof anybody else knew about it. There's no proof that another full-time staffer knew about it. We've heard about Partridge, but Partridge was a different story. Chris Partridge basically just said to some of the kids, hey, don't say anything, which of course was wrong. And he was fired for that, by the way, because that is wrong. You shouldn't say, don't give him anything, because that is impeding an investigation. But Chris Partridge was fired for that. So I don't really know what else you want Michigan to do on that front. Okay, here's a fun one. It's almost as if those who break the rules don't get the courtesy of choosing when they are charged. Officer, can you book me for murder after the holidays? Now it just isn't a good time. So first of all, I love the fact that he equivocated signal acquisitions, which many teams do, to murder. I think that's great. Interesting argument there. But if you don't think that this was vindictive, I don't know what to tell you. The Stallions documentary was so the news rolled out on a Sunday, and the Stallions documentary is rolling out Tuesday at 3 a.m. Eastern. You're telling me there's nothing vindictive about that, and that the deadline for the response is right before the Ohio State game for Michigan, and then NCAA's response takes them into the championship game in the postseason. You're telling me that timing isn't at all designed to do anything? Well, I don't have proof on that one. but based on their past history, I can see it. Look up what the word discovery means. There is zero chance Michigan would ever take this to court. Well, look up the Texas Attorney General, or the Tennessee Attorney General. Maybe it's just Stallions that takes this to court. Maybe Stallion says, I don't want a level 1 punishment, 5 years or 6 years or whatever. Maybe it's Stallions that takes it to court. Maybe it's the Attorney General of Michigan that takes it to court. Now, this is the Michigan fan perspective. I'm going to be nice because I think there's some truth to this. John, you know damn well Michigan doesn't have the spine to fight. When Ono wanted Akers, told him to stay out of it. That's why Harbaugh left. Nobody would back him. And I said, yeah. And pretty much I just said, yeah, you're right. And I hope I hope he's wrong about what that means for the future, but he is right. All right. Let's see here. We've got some comments. There you go. Stallions was obsessed with Michigan. He went to and he went to the Marines, and then obviously used some of his special set of skills. By the way, here's something everybody should think about. How about thank you, Connor Stallions? Because without Connor Stallions, we don't have radios in the headsets right now. The first games in college football history, aside from maybe some pilots that might have been run before, I don't know. But as far as everybody gets radios in the headsets, we finally saw the first few games Saturday with radios in the headsets. Thank you, Connor Stallions, for doing something which should have been done 20 years ago and forcing the issue of radios in the headsets and modernizing the sport. Drufus with a nice memory of the Ohio State game. Ralph, some Buckeye fans are listening to Buckeye Scoop and getting so much false info. Okay. I don't really like, as a standard practice of being part of this network and being part of this channel, I take great pains not to pan other podcasts. The exception's Buckeye Scoop, and here's why. They do not accept Michigan fans on their show. Not even, because I have been on multiple times with no intention of trolling, literally saying hi, how is everybody, and I get a timeout that's at least the length of the rest of the show, or a timeout the length of half the show. They don't accept Michigan fans there, and people have left because they're not accepting of other fan bases. Here, on the other hand, we welcome everybody. As long as you're respectful, as long as you're good to others, as long as you're not attacking people personally, we welcome you. We welcome Buckeyes. We welcome Michigan State fans. We welcome Penn State fans. We welcome Alabama fans. I don't care if you're nice, if you're respectful, and you debate issues and not people, you're welcome here. That's not really the case everywhere. Do I think that they have some interesting, insightful Ohio State takes sometimes? Yes. But I can't really get behind the censorship. We let pretty much everything go here, unless it breaks one of our only 3 rules. No personal attacks, no racism, sexism, politics. Don't be a giant asshole or giant troll and spam chat over and over the same thing. As long as you steer clear of those, I think those are pretty basic rules. That's not the case everywhere. I love how people think investigation should be fair and just depending on the charge. And yes, here we go. Here we go. Smash the chip. That's right. This is a general reminder to everybody. General reminder that Michigan is the defending national championship winner, and they are a consensus national champion. Just in case anybody forgot, because that's a thing. Yeah, I just don't understand. I don't understand why. I mean, it's one thing if Michigan fans are going in there and talking shit and they're causing problems. It's another thing if somebody says, "Hi, how are you?" and gets timed out. Those are two very different things. And that's like that I want to make clear. And correct. Menace is great. Menace is very, they say they're not a Buckeye podcast. Watch their shows, watch their on location shows at the bar. They're a Buckeye podcast. But they're very they're welcoming of other fan bases and other perspectives. And we try to do that too here. There's one comment from Nick from the start of the show, which says basically like, this story is never going to go away. I'm tired of it. Something like that. I don't have I didn't star it, but something to that effect. And I promise you, tomorrow's show is about recruiting and Trey Taylor interview. It's about, we're getting a Fresno State expert to talk Fresno State and that game coming up. We're going to be talking the Sharon Moore interview. We are going to be talking the Connor Stallions documentary because it's literally coming out in a couple hours, and we don't know what's in it yet. We've seen a trailer. What happened with Marshall? Yeah. And I got into something with a Michigan fan about this. I've really been having some interesting back and forth on Twix with people lately. So I said, first thing in the morning, I was literally moving out of my apartment, but I was, I was tweeting, and I said, the reason, look, Michigan's going to do everything they can to keep Marshall, including counteroffer, because Michigan has counteroffered before. People don't believe that. Michigan plays the game a little. Now, they're not going to get into a multi-million-dollar bidding war with the likes of Auburn, a 6-6 program, but they have counteroffered. So any assertion that we haven't counteroffered is false. We have counteroffered. And we have a bunch of sources backing that up, internally, externally, that there's been counteroffers. But also number two is you've got to, at some point, stand on principle. In any negotiation, there is a walkaway point for both parties. Okay? I've been in business for 10 years professionally. And I've been in, I don't know how many contract negotiations with some of the largest Fortune 500 brands in the world. Okay. And there's a breakaway. There's a point where you work with it, and there's a point where you got to walk away. Apparently, it got to the point with the Michigan team and with Sharon Moore that it was time to walk away because Auburn was offering significantly more. And you can't, we like Michigan, as much as you want an elite piece like him, and let's face it, it was a big blow to lose him. It was a big blow. However, there comes a point when you have to say, go to Auburn. If you don't see the value of being at a national champion defending program, if you don't see the value enough in the education that Michigan has unparalleled education, at least from a public school perspective. It's one of the top in the world. Call it the public Ivy. If you don't see the value in the program enough to outweigh the money, which, look, for some people, $1 million is generational life-changing money for some people. And we need to remember that perspective when we cannot. I'm not putting this decision on him. He made the best financial and school decision for himself and his family and his situation. And there are, I am not going to judge somebody's socioeconomic status, but there are people where $1 million is going to change their lives and their families' lives overnight. Period. So I can't hate on it. I can't. And like sometimes you've got to make that the best financial decision for yourself. So in this particular case, Michigan was either not willing to go up as high as Auburn, or I feel like they probably countered, but I don't think it was enough. To like, I think Marshall wanted Michigan to literally outbid, and we don't do that. We want players who want to be here. We want players who aren't here necessarily for all the money. Like, yeah, even Jim Harbaugh wanted players to be paid, but you got to want to be part of the culture and the program and be bought in. So it is what it is. I mean, that's what happened. All right. Michigan has been devious the entire time. Haha. We already, I think, showed why that's not the case. The last time Michigan said, "We'll see you in court," they folded minutes prior to the actual court hearing commencing. This is correct. This is a correct tweet. I can't debate it. It's true. I think it's funny that he picked a GIF from years ago when Michigan has most recently destroyed Michigan State. So that's pretty funny. But otherwise, I can't really debate that. More of the playing nice. Friend of the program, Doreen. This will be interesting to see play out. It's like chess. Doreen is a member of this network and this channel, so we thank you for your YouTube membership if you're here. Let's see. Michigan wants nothing to do with Scott. Well, maybe it's Connor Stallion's lawyers that do it. I'm being called a social media lackey. Now, this one is actually half agreeing with me, I think. I think that this is a half in agreement. I think that they're saying here the doc drop timing. Oh, I see. The timing of the documentary was devious. Is that what they're saying? I can't even tell. And I've offered them to. Okay, South Park reference. I can get with that. I like South Park. They took long enough to let last season finish out and allow a contaminated national championship to be claimed. We literally just said the president of the NCAA said that Michigan won the title fair and square. So that's pretty funny. I mean, some of these I'm just skipping past because they're ridiculous. Okay. Yeah, now it's just kind of silly. Michigan rolls over and takes their beating, correct? That's kind of what's happened for the most part. I do think Tom Mars has showed some grit and some fight in terms of basically saying, I'm gonna sue you for tortious interference if you continue to impede these negotiations, and some of the PR battle that happened there. Yeah. How about this? This is very true. Tennessee had an actual private jet involved and told the NCAA better know how to squabble. Let's see if Michigan does the same with the Attorney General. Little shit talking about Dave Portnoy. Okay. Not on drugs, sorry. And there were people who said I was a bot. And I said, well, here's the link to the video. Check it out. Yeah. We're just having some fun tonight, Moose. a big part of the reason I wanted to do this show is, I'm now broadcasting. Obviously, a lot of you who watch the show regularly know I'm in the middle of a move, a big move, cross country, kind of up the country, and so I'm testing the internet because I do not want any internet problems tomorrow. If there's internet problems when I'm just responding to shit posting on Twitter, nobody's going to care. If the internet goes down when we're we're having serious interviews and serious discussions with media people, that's a different story. So today's essentially a dress rehearsal for tomorrow's mega show, which is 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night, and it is truly a mega show. All right, we start off with the Trey Taylor 2027 elite quarterback recruit, an interview with him. Then we're going to talk about the Sharon Moore interview. We're going to be talking about a little bit of the smoke on who might be quarterback one. Hint, probably Alex Orji. Spoiler alert. And then at 9 p.m. Eastern, Caleb Nail is going to be joining us from the Beware of Bulldogs podcast. He's got a Fresno State weekly podcast. So it's going to be a banger show. So far, it's looking like everything's all systems go. I love this. John Diatabot. That's hilarious. That's actually pretty funny. Yeah. If John is a bot, AI has just taken over. Because I don't even know that I'm a bot. So like AI is really, really, really powerful now. That's right. That's right, D-Rock. In about a week and a half, I'm out. Okay. We have time for like one call, and then we're going to go to Trojan Conquest Live. So if you're from Twitter, if you happen to be one of the people who is from Twitter and you want to debate me, now's your chance. Here's the link. If you have a thought on this, now's your chance. Here's the link. And then after that, we will go over to Trojan Conquest Live. While we're waiting to see if there's any calls, just a reminder that tonight the Sign Stealer documentary is coming out. I'm not going to watch it live. It's at 3 a.m. and I've worked tomorrow, so I'm going to, wake up, have my coffee, watch it, do some work, and give my instant reactions. Fun story. I don't know if I've ever told anybody this. I don't know if I've ever told anybody this on here. I used to be on the debate team. I used to be captain in high school. I didn't do it in college. I was doing too much other shit. I was also supporting myself. I worked pretty much full-time hours in college. So even though Ann Arbor was awesome, I was so tired all the time. So I had no time for debate team in college. But high school, yeah, it was a good time. I'm up from Florida, moving up to Northern Virginia. So some people know because I'm already talking with a couple of people, making some plans to meet up in person. So if you're in the Northern Virginia area or nearby, and we want to do a Michigan Wolverines meetup, let me know. Nice, Blue. Yeah, it taught me a lot. And the coolest opportunity I think I had was going to the national championship, or the National Catholic Championship. We didn't make it to the full-on national, but we made it to the Catholic Championship, which is it's not like one team versus one team. For those who don't know, it's like a bunch of teams in that competition, and we did win a couple of matches in that, which was pretty cool. Well, let's hang out, man. I'm down. Mace Madman and I are probably going to get together as well, and a couple others. So, yeah, let's do it. And I'm probably going to go to Michigan at some point. I'm going to be a lot closer to Michigan, so I'm probably going to go to Michigan at some point. So we'll figure some stuff out. I would like to meet some of you guys at some point. I think that would be awesome. And I'll be in a place where I think there's more people where I can actually interact. Okay. As expected, none of the Twitter people, and I gave the link. I gave the link to like 15. I responded to like 15 people's tweets saying, here's the video. And you know what they said back to me, which was really funny? Well, we don't want to give your podcast any more exposure or audience. And I'm like, okay. You don't want to give this show more audience. I'll go on your show, or I'll go on to a Buckeye podcast. And then they said, well, we don't want to give you more exposure. Well, then what the hell do you want me to do? I mean, I'm calling people out for being cowardly and being on, keyboard warriors. If you want to fall back on, I don't want to give you any exposure. Like, I need the help of some rando Buckeyes rule, Wolverines suck 69-69 to be successful. I think I could probably live, but it is what it is. All right. So with that said, a couple of things to like housekeeping notes here. Please consider becoming a member. We are, I believe right now, about 8 away from being able to add a new emoji. Maybe 7 now with the one gifted one, but some people are dropping off because it's of the old gifted memberships. I'm trying to get up to 125 so I can add another emoji. So you guys want to become members? It starts at just $2.99 a month. I'll put the ticker here with all of our members so far. This is an incredible group of members, folks. I don't think, and I know I'm speaking for everybody here, TJ, Ferris, Cliff, Mac. I don't think any of us expected this. This is amazing. And it's because of all of you who value what we do here. And I know that some people listed here are gifted in this tier. ZZM for one. And I will change yours, but I'm completely out of character limit right now. So I'll change it at some point, I promise. But this is just great. This is what happens. I know CW the second is definitely a gifted membership. That's a Buckeye. But this is incredible. And so you'll notice everybody who's a member in here, throw some emojis in the chat so everybody can see all the members. Throw some stallions in the chat. And you can see all of our membership here. There it is. Yeah, man, Madamus Prime, look, you're cool with me, okay? What isn't cool with me is when people just, like, are coming at each other, they're shit posting, and they just say the same thing over and over. Michigan is cheaters, over and over. Those people get blocked. I just don't have time for it. I want to have a chat where people are actually having, like, some decent back and forth, even if it's just joking and jabbing at each other because it's Buckeye Wolverine, that's fine. Lisa Sims, I think I've seen you on Buckeye Podcast before. If I'm not mistaken, if anybody would like to do that, and it doesn't have to be like Menace. It could be, 2 guys and a buck nut, 2 guys, 1 buck nut, or whatever. Jesus, I'm gonna get ream for that one. But you know what I mean. It could be. I don't really give a shit. I'll go on anything if it means having a reasonable debate with people. And if y'all want to limit my exposure and limit my amount of success, I mean, I'm happy to go on, a YouTube channel. Like if we can have an exchange that I can record and I can put out there to show we had a reasonable exchange, it doesn't matter to me. And of course, I'm in chat and I hang out all the time in some of the chats, not just Michigan, but also Ohio State and otherwise. Loki with another membership gift. Thank you. Let's see who got it. Jesus. Let's see. The Forgotten Man. Congratulations to the Forgotten Man. You are getting 30 free days of the Those Who Stay Will Be Champions membership. So congratulations on that. And thank you, Detective Loki. And Blue Wolverine showing they don't show up here, but you can see it in chat, all of the different, actually I can share my screen. It's going to be a little bit of Inception here, but you can see Blue Wolverine. Look at these emojis. You've got the winged helmet. You've got the Michigan logo. You've got the Ohio State versus Michigan scores. Smash. You got the finger. You've foam finger. You've got the burger. You've got Crying Ryan Day. Go Blue. Connor Stallions in Disguise. You've got Biff the Wolverine. Old school. You've got Moose for of course our regular mod contributor, talent acquisition specialist, Moose. You've got the all-time Michigan-Ohio State score. You've got the team. And finally, you've got the Fisher-Price hammer. So you've got a lot of emojis here. The moose emojis. Yeah, this is good stuff. And there it is. Connor Stallions in Disguise. I kind of like the white backgrounds, but I get it. We're discussing it. For right now, it's fine. Blue Wolverine, $1.99. Slap the like button for America. That's right. And it goes beyond that. America's the place where you can debate about stuff respectfully. There's freedom of speech. In some podcasts, there isn't freedom of speech, but here there is. If you notice, I've let a whole shitload of Buckeyes on here right now chat and say pretty much whatever they want, as long as they're respectful. Doesn't matter. Yeah, thank Detective Loki. Detective Loki's the man. And yeah, it's what's funny is there are so many Buckeyes in here that because it's based a lot on engagement and also who's turned on accepting gifts. So that means Buckeyes, USC, and Oregon people have accept gifts, and they also are engaging in chat, which that's fine by me. We've got He Loki, who's a member. Yeah, man. Well, M Blue, if you want the triple score emoji, then getting it is really easy. If you sign up to become a member, you can do it even at the $2.99 a month tier. Just $2.99 a month, leaders and best tier, and you get the emojis. You also get the green membership. Your name changes to green. You get the badge next to your name. And I do try to prioritize all member comments, even if they're leaders and best. And then you can see that your name gets listed on here. If I've missed somebody's name, please just let me know or DM me. Because I'm doing my best here, but it gets a bit unwieldy once we're at this point. And we do want to make sure everybody's listed here. So. Yeah, I know. Maybe that one's one. Hey, I'd be down. Look, so Madamus, one thing I did last season, I started a show every week, a debate show with Buckeye Mike, and it was called 30-Minute War. Some of you OGs were there supporting us. So absolutely love to do that. Maybe I'll bring back 30-Minute War, and we'll have rotating Ohio State guests someday. I don't know if I have the time right now to do that, to be honest, but maybe soon. We'll see. But I really love the idea of like the Undisputed style debate show, like the old school Undisputed, not the one that they did after, but like the old school one with Skip and Shannon, but it's Michigan versus Ohio State. Kind of love that idea. Thanks, Jared. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, it's a me show, which is also why I'm not gonna keep it going too much longer. Because I know you guys love TJ, you guys love Ferris, you guys love Cliff, Mac, all of them as well. So when it's just me, I tend to keep it short. And tomorrow we will have everybody. So we'll have TJ, we'll have Ferris, and we'll have special guests the whole show, and it's going to be great. Okay. There we go. Nick with the $1.99. Jaysean Barham breakout season, gonna maul dudes. Yeah, he is widely expected to be one of the best pieces on the defense by far. And that's saying something when you've got Mason Graham, probably a top 10 draft pick. You've got Kenneth Grant, probably a one or maybe a high second round draft pick. You've got Will Johnson, who's probably going to be top 3 or top 5. He's the number 1 player in college football 25. The fact that Jaysean Barham is projected to be in that league is pretty legit. And he is going to maul some people. I'm down. Let's do it. Let's set it up. I'm down. As long as it's respectful, we good. And Buckeye Mike and I, we went at each other, but it was respectful, you know? We debated. And we've had good calls where we've debated. Dr. Buckeye and Sean Garner and Hummus Hero. And we tend to have pretty good Buckeye calls. Alex Martin came on, although he wasn't really, he was kind of like on the Michigan side a little bit, Alex Martin, when it comes to the physicality argument. Was kind of saying Michigan's got that. All right. That's about it. I don't want to keep this rolling too much. Oh, but I do want to highlight this before we go. I want everybody here to hit the Moose emoji if you remember, because Moose has lost 78 pounds in 5 months. Low carb, high protein diet, 7 days a week, 2 hours a day. Proud of myself. Everybody hit the Moose emoji. That is fucking awesome. Pardon my French. That's great. I know personally how hard it is to lose weight. You know, I hired a personal trainer and I did 6 months of intense, like high intent. They're called high intensity workouts. Since then, I've stepped it back a bit from the high intensity workouts, and I've gone to like cardio and maybe a fitness class or 2 a week. So haven't gone quite like I did when I was doing the 6 months of personal training, but I know firsthand how hard it was to lose 25 pounds. 78 is incredibly impressive. So well done, man. Well done. Absolutely. All right, y'all. A couple of quick reminders before we wrap here. Those of you who want to watch right away, those of you who maybe they don't have to get up super early in the morning and they want to watch the Sign Stealer documentary right away and give instant reactions, comes out in 5 hours. However, I'm going to be watching it when I get up naturally. I'm not going to force myself to be up for this. But once I'm up and I watch it, then I'll write my notes, and we'll be giving our instant reactions on tomorrow night's mega show. It is a mega show tomorrow night. I don't usually call it that, but it is I'm actually saying expect a mega show tomorrow night, because we've got lined up tomorrow night for Michigan Wolverines Live, Trey Taylor. We start right out the freaking gate with maybe the elite quarterback recruit of 2027. Trey Taylor is going to be on our show tomorrow night. Then we're going to be talking Sharon Moore. We're going to be talking all the stuff that's happening with respect to who might be QB1, who might be winning the right tackle battle, who might be winning the center battle, because we all thought that Crippen was the definitive center. It's still a battle, which I didn't expect. And then, of course, at 9 p.m. Eastern, Caleb Nail, who is a Fresno State expert. He's on the Beware of Bulldogs podcast. We're all going to be breaking down the Fresno State game from a high level and money line perspective, an offense, defense perspective, keys to the game, and predictions. I am going to be asking Caleb what he predicts is going to be happening with his Fresno State Bulldogs. And it's all happening, I'm going to say 8 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern. And we'll go right in, and then we'll send everybody straight over to the Oregon Ducks show, as we try to do. Then on Thursday, we've got the weekly call-in show with TJ Ronin, where he takes your phone calls, Wolverine calls, Buckeye calls, anything. Then Saturday, got 2 shows on Saturday. You got a pregame show before the game with Ferris, Khan, and TJ. You've got a post-game call-in show after the game with myself hosting. You got TJ on there, and we're going to be taking your calls and your instant reactions to the game. So it is a packed next couple of days. 4 straight shows just mainlining football. We will barely talk about NCAA. We will talk about the documentary, but it is my commitment to you that today's goal was to knock out a lot of the non-football stuff so that the rest of the week we can talk a lot more ball. And don't forget that every morning, Monday through Friday, wake up, get your coffee, and at 10 a.m. Eastern, the College Football Show with Mark Rogers is on. You can also catch our show on your favorite audio platform. That includes Spotify, that includes Audible, that includes Apple Podcasts. And finally, it's time, folks. I encourage everybody to head on over to Trojan Conquest Live, which is on right now. And they have Matt Moscona. So not only is Mark on there, Matt Zemek, and Tim Prangley, but Matt Moscona from ESPN Radio Baton Rouge is on right now, talking LSU USC. So Trojan Conquest Live now. Just tell them John sent you. Tell them John sent you, if you want. And yeah, Keegan, you're always coming in at the end of the this one was kind of a short, just kind of a fun show. But tomorrow night is 2 hours and a half. So feel free to check out this show, which was really just more me having a little fun, responding to some idiocy on Twitter, and also promoting everything else for this week, testing my internet. But 2.5 hours tomorrow night, approximately. So going to be a good one. And then Marsh is great dude, and obviously we had him on, we interviewed him, and then a few weeks later he committed to Michigan. I'm not saying we had anything to do with that, but no, but seriously though, he's the exact type of player Michigan wants. High talent, but also humble. He has a humble attitude. Like, he's ready to work, and that's what you need. And you need receivers who are willing to block if you're going to Michigan. You can't do the Marvin Harrison Jr., I'm going to make some business decisions because I'm going to the NFL in a couple of months. I'm not going to block anybody. Thanks, GT. I appreciate that. And I also appreciate your super chat. All right, folks. I'll see you on over at the USC channel. Trojan Conquest Live. They're having a great discussion over there with Matt Moscona, ESPN Radio Baton Rouge. And until tomorrow night, it's John D'Adamo saying, go blue, and see you soon.